We want to go to our colleague, KENS 5 reporter Sue Kalberg, who I understand is in Center Point. Sue, where are you at right now, and what are you seeing?
Henry, I am still in Center Point on the Guadalupe River across from Lions Park, and I have some amazing video that we're going to share with you as the evening progresses. But let me tell you what happened here early this morning. There's a tree way out there in the river that you can see, that a big branch, you can see it's got a wound in it. That is where a young woman was plucked from a tree who came all the way from the Hunt Ingram area. That's like 14 miles away. She went under bridges. She survived incredible odds. She said RVs were floating by her. When I was up here at the bridge a minute ago, somebody said, go get Carl's video, because you won't believe it. This, y'all, is Carl. And everybody here has been telling me this incredible story. They talk all over each other. So I told them, y'all just tell the story, because it's a story of heroism and a miracle, truly. Tell me, Carl.
True miracle. There's no other way to explain it.
You heard her screaming.
I did. We had gone away from the house for a little while because we were afraid the water was coming in our house. And I waited till it was stabilized, and I knew, so I waded back over. I came up on the deck, and she saw me, so she started to scream out loud. And I thought she was in the water going down the river, and I finally looked and was able to spot her in the tree. And so, I began to holler back to her, hey, I see you, we'll get you help. And I called 911, waited about 20 minutes, nobody showed up, and I got in my vehicle, drove down the road to where I knew there were going to be authorities, and I found a DPS agent, and he then videoed and called in and sent some folks over here, but it still took a while. So
they brought a boat.
They did. We had a little bullhorn. We were hollering back and forth at her to let her know, hey, hang on, because she was desperate. I mean, desperate. And
then you learned she came all the way from Hunt Ingram?
After they were able to pluck her out, we brought her into our house and gave her a shower, clothed her because it had stripped all of her clothing off, and gave her something to drink, gave her a nap, and then we had a long talk with her. We called her grandmother in Corpus because she's also missing. Her parents were with her at the time. And
sister and aunt and uncle as well.
Yeah, sister, aunt, uncle. So they were at a campground, and the water came up at, did you say 4 o'clock?
She told us that roughly 4 a.m. they started noticing the water coming up. Her mom and dad got in their car to try and go up the hill to get out of the water. The car was overtaken by the water and stalled out. They had to open the sunroof, climb through the sunroof, and then she said they were able to get on a tree. Her mom and her were clinging to each other. The dad was behind, holding on to them. Water would have been pushing at their back. She said it just kept overtaking them, and eventually they got swept away. She said the dad, they lost him immediately. Her and her mother were able to hang on to each other for a while. Then they got taken under in some sort of a rapid of some kind. They got separated. She said they were screaming back and forth, coming down the river for a period of time. Then she lost her mom. She said that she had clung to a handful of trees. They were small, would ended up getting pushed over and overtaken, and somehow she ended up here.
And so you
found the strength to climb in the tree,
And you said that she went into the water at 4, but you didn't see her until
8 o'clock, a little after 8 o'clock in the morning.
So her adventure was already 4 hours old when you saw her, and then it took a while for the boat to get there.
Exactly, and they're from Midland, so they have no idea about these things. It's it's a new experience for them. Said she came under a couple of bridges. One of them would have had to been on Sidney Baker, and she could see cars passing by. She was waving at them, and she couldn't get anybody's attention, and just continued down the river till she got to this spot. It's miracle. It's an absolute miracle. There's no way you survived that trip. I don't know how she did it. I really don't.
What was in your heart when she made it to dry land or wetland.
Oh my God, we all cheered. I mean, there were several people here, and we all just began to cheer and hoop and holler and carry on. We went down and greeted her and hugged her and got her blankets and towels and stuff, and you know, just she could barely walk at that point. I mean, she was so exhausted and beat up. I mean,
Yeah.
she was beat up pretty good. So,
Yeah, but nothing broken as far as you
No,
know.
she had a fairly decent cut on the back of her head that she didn't even know about when the paramedics were checking her out until she took a shower, and she said she put shampoo in her hair and then it started to burn, and then that was when, I mean, she was just in so much shock that she didn't have a clue what was going on.
Y'all, there's a helicopter overhead. I don't know if you can hear it. So what that says to me is that the rescues and the recoveries and the action is still continuing. We're here in Center Point, and I'm trying to see that helicopter says Texas Department of Public Safety on it. So we've got the video back in the house. If you guys want to edit it, we're going to be with you. We'll share that video as the evening progresses. We'll for certain bring it to you at 10 o'clock. So unless you've got any questions for these guys, we're going to give it back to you in the studio.
What a miracle. What an absolute miracle. I mean, you're talking about 22, 23 miles from Hunt is where she started, and
Right.
then going downstream through Ingram, Kerrville, with all the debris in the water, and still making it, ending up in Center Point.
22 years old.
22 years old.
22 years old from Midland. I don't think they see these kinds of things in Midland.
No,
No.
listen, Sue, I'm from Lubbock, and that's just an hour south. That's West Texas. We don't see those types of things. Absolutely not. But
And-
Sue, I just want to ask, just for clarification, so this woman, did she lose both of her parents? Was she able to reunite with her parents? Do we know that at all? Is that part of the story?
We don't know that part of the story yet, and I'm not going to reveal anybody's name at this point because we don't know the answer to that. So we'll do a little more research, and we'll get back with you on that once we figure it
we
out.
do know there's 5 members missing.
5 members missing, but that was early this morning, and we don't know what the family has been able to do since then.
She gave us the names. We called. I'd seen on Facebook that there were some hotlines to call, so I called and gave the dispatch the names of her aunt and uncle, sister, and both her parents to notify them these people are still missing. We have her. Gave them her name so that in case some of them were able to survive and be rescued, that they could hopefully reunite with each other.
EMT came by, they took her blood pressure and her vitals and said, we've got bigger fish to fry, and they went on and just left her with us. So we were like, okay, what do we do now, But finally we were able to get a hold of her grandmother and a cousin and some others, and kept her safe till they got here to pick her up.
The cousin that came from Austin, her mom and dad were the aunt and uncle that are missing.
So lots of tragedy we're going to have as we move forward through this. We don't know how many we have missing. We don't know how many we have unaccounted for. We'll try to figure out more about this young lady and her quest to find her family.
Sue
Can we-
Kalberg, what an
Sarah?
incredible story there. Thank you. Exactly what that gentleman
It's
said, a miracle.
tragedy.